Hi everyone. Well, it hasn't been the ideal spring week. We've had like a day and a half of spring weather. The actual day of spring was not was not one of those days. I've been able to tick off some stuff on my list, some stuff that's not on my list, and just getting it going, doing things slowly, getting my body back into the rhythm of hard work since we're out of shape now. And yeah, so let's start with, well, Tuesday was the really nice day. Still windy though, so I had like 2 layers of this jackets on. So the first action was to clear out the that are next to the house because I wanted to reposition the greenstalk. So I thought this area relatively flat. I think this might be a good place. It gets a good bit of sun. It's close to the house, so I can water it frequently. And then the white siding will reflect the light to the plants that are in the back end that don't get direct sun. So I'm hoping this works for the green stock. This was an easy project, small. I'm probably not using this scythe properly. It needs to be sharpened, but it was doing the job. There's been vole activity in this area, so some of the roots on some of this has gotten rotten. But that's sort of a blessing in disguise since this plant does grow slowly but surely, taking over a space. Next, over by the hugel, I am going to do some cover cropping in this space. So first, get out some of the wiring that is in the way, and then the chickens got out the other day actually and raked up some of this stuff. So I'm raking it back, getting the top layer of mulch off the bed so that I can have a place for the seeds to land. So the three bags, we've got crimson clover, hairy vetch, and peas and oats from botanical interest. And in hindsight, I probably overseeded, and also probably would be more economical to order in bulk. So lesson learned for next time. I was a little premature here. I took quite a bit of effort putting the meshy wire back in and then realizing I'd forgotten to do something. These chicken wires are such a pain. They're always getting caught up on themselves. And I thought I was finished. Nope. So I had left all those seeds exposed, which they don't necessarily like, and mainly because there are birds and squirrels and chipmunks in this area that would love the snack fest I'm about to leave them. So I'm gonna cover it up, and that's what the fence, the mesh, is for anyways, to keep the birds and squirrels out, or keep more of the seeds in. So here I am, raking back the mulch, making sure the seeds have contact with the soil, and finally laying down the fencing again. I'm leaving the hay bale there in my way because that's where Snowflake was buried, and I'm just gonna leave it alone for as long as possible. Next project up for the day is setting up the potato containers. This cooler I got not that long ago in the fall. I drilled holes at the bottom, made quite a mess. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is a good size. It is insulated and double-sided, and I feel okay reusing this plastic for this purpose. So in the blue bin, I have leaf mold that's been sitting there for this winter season. I'm gonna separate half and half, more or less. I'm gonna put 4 inches in the yellow one for the potatoes that are going in there, and then top it with some more later. I lined the bottom of this yellow with the a screen. I'm not really too worried. The holes that I drilled are not that big, but I had it lying around, so I figured I'll just use it. Any worms, well, worms can just crawl out the sides and up and over. But there's enough space at the bottom if they really wanted to come up and around the mesh, they could. So it's a modified like root stout. Here I have, this is actually a store-bought potato, regular red potato you get at the supermarket. And then I've got my purples and little puny reds. And then these are the butterball that had come up, that I just dug up like a month or so ago. I let them sprout. And now I'm just cleaning up extra sprouts. You just want to leave 2 good ones, so they'll give them the most strength. I could have probably cut this one in half, but whatever. So these are the potatoes I'm working with. They've been sitting around for a while. They're pretty shriveled up, so we'll see what we get out of that. I'm gonna be pretty liberal with this. I think it's liberal. 3 in this bin. Hopefully it's enough space for them. And then I'm just topping them off with the shredded leaves that I had put aside. And I'll top this off with compost as they grow. Now the rest, pretty tiny. So I only had this container. I mean, I have other containers, but on this day, this was the container I wanted to use up, so I squeezed these in a bit closer. This isn't the year for potatoes for me, so this is a whatever grows. I will tackle potatoes another year. And that's it for the potatoes. Now these birdies raised beds have been bothering me for a while, but weather hasn't been cooperating. So these old kale and broccoli stalks really in the ground, and technically you're not supposed to disturb the ground, but I just wanted them out. And also I have a lot of rotten leeks. They really did not overwinter well this winter. So I'm just getting rid of the excess in this bed. I'm leaving most of the leeks in to just decompose in place, but the big stocky kale, like this was like 2 season kale, it was really gnarly and deep in there, so that I left that I had to pull up, and I tried to shake as much of the earth and any bugs that were still on there off. Ooh, looky what I found. This is some red vein sorrel. And yeah, it made it through. They're quite tasty. So I scooped up half a wheelbarrow of chicken manure. It's got paper and charcoal and straw and hay. And it's gonna rain in a few days, so I just want to get the nutrients off of them and into the beds. And here are the rhubarbs, another early riser in late winter. And this one, it feels solid, so late starting that one. This bed I'm not touching much more other than to top off with some compost. I do believe I will be planting in this one my brassicas, because it's the least wet of the spaces. Now here I'm avoiding direct contact with the rhubarb. Now somehow you were spared and I lost the footage of putting together the greenstalk, but I also decided I needed to put manure through the spaces that didn't have plants in it, which is mainly strawberries. I had attempted garlic in some of the pockets, and for a while they were doing well, but I don't know, they've rotted out since then. So in general, it's been a wet, very rainy, a little bit snowy some winter, so, and it's been mucky. I'm a little bit worried about the garlic I have in ground, actually. A little bit worried. But yeah, it wasn't fun filling these little holes in the wind with chicken poop. But that is a project that's done. The peppers and eggplants and cherry tomatoes are looking really well, showing true leaves coming in. And they are ready to be potted up in a day or so, or whenever I get the chance. With the heat, it stays about mid 80s down up in this shelf. I turned it off, so it's come down. So it's like low 80s, high 70s on the next shelf, and so on and so forth. These tomatoes, I'm having to shuffle back and forth so that everybody gets light. Otherwise, they're leaning in to the middle. I'm a little concerned about the ground cherries. They're 3-year-old seeds, so that could be the factor, but I've expected them to be up by now, and so far I've only seen 2-3 germs. So we shall see. I might have to rely solely on the plants volunteering. And down here we have the basil. It doesn't do much. Basil's not doing much down here. It's a little bit cooler in this shelf. Celery is looking good. And then this I did 3 days ago. And wasn't really well thought out. I, for some reason, forgot, but I put in the 6 little squares habanana peppers, which are sweet peppers, and then the rest are chamomile, which look really good. They came up on day 2. And the temperature, this needs to be on a higher shelf. These are gonna do well, and the chamomile are gonna fry, so I don't know what I'm gonna do there. And then the celosia also came up on day 2. They are looking really good. I bought more snapdragons along with the celosia and the chamomile and the pepper. This is just some seeds that I got the other day. But for some reason, the snapdragons I kept under cover when they do not need cover. They need light. So they have not come up yet. And we're probably going to take now 2 days before I see any germ on the snapdragons. And the onions and snapdragons and brassicas, herbs, artichokes. These have all had their first night out. They are all ready to be planted out. I just need a few hours to dedicate to that. So yeah, they'll be spending their all day. It's been overcast mostly, so having them outside has not been that big of an issue. Any yellowing you see are the old leaves, the first leaves that came out, so those are expected to fall off anyway, so no worries there. And every so often, we try to turn the compost. Anyway, so this stuff needs to be turned also. Still a lot of big chunks in here. Needs to be aerated. There's a lot of good worms though. Up close for them. Wiggly wigglies. So this pile needs a long ways to go still. But if I keep on this, keep airing it out, it should finish relatively quickly. But that is a big if. Alright, that's all for today on that pile. And something that really tickles me that blooms early in spring are the crocus. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm looking forward to the fall because I really want to get saffron, or whatever crocus that is, that makes saffron, and start growing them. And the saffron would have the pistils, is that what they call it? I don't know, stamens that would be edible once dried, and they look a lot like this. And these bloom way earlier than the daffodils or the yellow bushy forsythia, which is coming in this bush here. And there's another bush down the way. And a big project for the spring is tackling this chip pile from last summer. There was another pile right there, equally the same size. Now I'm chipping away at this to, well, a couple places, mulch some walkways for the veggies, and then trying to reclaim this part of the driveway, I guess. It's like an island. The upper part has mature trees, a rhododendron, I think, a weeping cherry, and a few other things. But this area here is just grass that has to be hand mowed, and also it goes around to the back. It's just a pain to mow it because you have to get out the hand mower instead of riding mower, which we use everywhere else. So I'm gonna reclaim it, and by next year, hopefully, I can plant in it. But for now, it's slowly but surely laying down cardboard as I get them and chipping on top of that. So this is 3 loads of chips right there. It's gonna take me a lot of loads to cover this whole area and up a ways. But we'll do it. We'll get more chips if we need to. So I was able to do 5 loads here. There we go. And then I also went ahead and chopped down these grassy things. Whacked myself in the face. Wear your protection. And there's another one over here. That's a smaller one. Can you see that? That's the line from the face shield I put on after I got whacked in the face with that grass. I have a little scratch right there. Great. But yeah, spring has been so-so so far, which is expected for around here. I can't recall very many days that spring is actually spring-like weather here. So it's just a matter of taking it day by day, hour by hour, doing the most you can. But we're definitely getting there. I wish you a productive spring, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.